Hello and welcome to Casual Leaves. Today I have something very interesting. I have a list of plant chores which are all put in these little chits that I have. So what I've done is there are a lot of plant chores that I really don't feel like doing, but I know they need to be done. So I'm just trying to make it a little fun plant chores lotto thing where I will pick out a task and I will do it. And I'll maybe do three of these or maybe four depending on how quickly or slowly this goes, but that's the idea. There are a lot of chores which are very important but I have not been doing them because they feel very daunting to me, and there are some fun things also in some of the chits here, so we'll see how it goes. And so let's begin with it. But before that, if you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. I make houseplant videos and at times interesting unboxing and review videos, so do subscribe to the channel. And if you're returning back here, thank you so much for being back here one more time. I hope you watch the video till the end, and it means so much that you're back here again. Okay, so in no particular order, of course, these are all jumbled up here, and I really don't want to do some of these. I'm hoping I don't get those tasks for me to be done, but let's pull out the first one and we'll do our best. Okay, so here it is. Let's see which one is this going to be. Oh, it's a nice one. Let's introduce a new plant. So I will get a plant that is not yet been featured on the channel, though I am going to be doing a separate plant haul very soon because I have a couple of new plants with me which are settling in right now. But I did want to show one of the plants which are right there back on the shelf. So let me go grab one of those for you. Okay, so here is a new plant that I'm very happy about to have. Uh, this is a philodendron UPI. I do believe firmly that's how you pronounce it. I've read a lot. It's UPI and not JOPI. So UPI is here. And this is a baby plant. It's a 4-inch planter right now that I have, and I've repotted it since I got it. It's been a couple of days that I have it, and I'm just letting it settle down in the environment that I have, which is mainly on the plant shelf behind. This one is the newest leaf. It's so pretty, so cool. It's so glossy. Love the textures on it. And it's still growing, it's still hardening off. I believe this one is uh, completely matured for the size right now, and it's got a new thing coming here in the center. If you can see, right at the center there's a formation of a new leaf as well. Why this plant is so interesting is because of the discovery story about this plant. So I do believe there's a botanist by the name of UP Moonen, if I'm not wrong, and this plant was discovered alongside a river. And at first he thought that it's just another plant which has been eaten by ants, and that's what's giving the shape. So I will insert a picture of the matured leaf shape here so you know what I'm talking about. So when Mr. UPI Moonen discovered the plant, he thought that ants had eaten it all up because it was found on an ant hill. So he thought it was eaten up, and that's what's giving it the shape. So basically, the kind of the edges here have been eaten off by the plant, and the matured leaves have lobes right here which come out. So it was thought that maybe the plants have caused damage to the leaves, and that's why it appears that way. Then again, he found it later one more time, and then he confirmed that no, this is indeed how the plant is. And it seems to be a natural hybrid, if I'm not wrong, between Bipennifolium and Pedatum. I think so. I'll try and put that on the screen later maybe. So that's a pretty interesting story, and it's a real story. There are a lot of papers on that story where the botanist himself has confirmed of that little anecdote. So we love plants with anecdotes for sure. And the good thing about this plant is when it grows bigger, they look really unique. They have these long stems, long leaves. They occupy the space a bit differently. So it's definitely like a statement plant to have in your home. Highly recommend having it. And I think this is one of those no fuss kind of plants, very easy to grow as well. It's kind of developing roots right now. If I can show that to you. So pretty interesting actually. Those are all the new roots. So when I got this plant from the seller, it was actually in the nursery pot and it had that little nursery sponge which was holding on to the roots very tightly. So I'm so happy that I removed it, I unpotted it, and I put it in my soil. And it's always tricky, when should you do that? When you buy a new plant and you get it home, do you repot it immediately, or what if those nursery pots are in between? I'll try and show a picture of that as well, because that's quite dangerous if you don't know if your plant has those. So fortunately for me, I just took a guess and I removed it, I unpotted it, and then I saw that the root ball was completely entangled in that nursery pot. So I removed it, and right now the plant is doing really well. Since I repotted it into this, the roots are doing fine. I love these transparent pots. I would highly recommend using transparent pots, and then maybe using a cover pot to put your plant into a fancier pot. So that was the first one. Happy to have an easy task at hand, which is to talk about a new plant. But let's get on to something else now. We will pick out our next task. And again, I'm hoping it's something fun and easy, but let's see. I have put some tough ones here, to be fair and square about this. Oh, okay. This is for doing a neem spray on my Thycon. So my Thycon has been struggling with thrips. Since I got it, I have two of them. The seller replaced, rather sent an additional one, because the first one had thrips when it got delivered to me. But even the second one had thrips. And long story short, I have two Thycon baby forms, juvenile plants with thrips, and I regularly need to do the neem oil, neem spray treatment, which of course at times I tend to not get time for so many things going on in our lives. So I had put that down here specifically so I can do a quick check. Let me go grab the plant first. So here it is. This is my new arrangement for both of my plants, and I did repot them just 2 days back, because apart from being struggling from thrips, I spotted these white little mites in the soil, not even in the soil, in the tray, the tray under the pot. There were these white creepy crawly things, and in the past I have seen them, and then the next thing I knew, there was root rot in those plants. And Thycon is known to have root rot very easily because it's a tissue cultured plant, and they have tendencies to get root rot very easily. So that's the plant. This here is the newest leaf, but you can see how wonky it is, how weird it is. It's quite funky. It's not doing too well. And I can see thrips, guys, on the back of this leaf. I can see thrips. I thought I've lost them. In fact, let me try and show you how they look. I should also remove my new plant from here, the other one. You see this thing here, that thing which is moving here on the top of the leaf. This one, God, it just won't focus. So this thing you see here, this bit which is moving, that's the thrip. There are a couple of them down under there. This is so annoying. This is so annoying. I have already been treating them for many days now. It's just really, really annoying, honestly. I thought I got rid of them. I was almost happy thinking I've gotten rid of them. And that's why I lowered the frequency of my neem oil spray solution. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the sink and we are going to spray it with neem oil. So I've just got my neem spray bottle. This has a diluted version of the neem oil, and I'm just gonna thoroughly spray the neem oil on all the leaves, front and back. Mostly it's the back side where the thrips are seen easily, and on new leaves as well. I really don't like to spray much on new leaves, but considering thrips are right now walking all over this plant, I rather take a chance, because this leaf, when it was new, I sprayed it with the neem oil and this is how it came in all wonky. And I'm just gonna try and rub the solution a bit so that it goes everywhere. God, I really hate this bit. I really don't like having pests for no fault of my own. So anyway, this was the most affected leaf. I've sprayed it enough. I'm gonna leave this to dry here and we can wait for it to dry, because if I take it to a well-lit, sunlit, indirect light lit room, it's gonna damage the leaves. It's gonna burn the leaves because of the neem oil solution there. So I'm just gonna let it be here for a while to dry up. Okay, so I'm back after the neem oil treatment of the Thycon, and this is going pretty fast. So maybe we'll see if we can do more, because this is my third task now, and now I'm getting a bit afraid because the tough ones are gonna come out. Let's see. Okay, this is like the most long pending one. It is to check on my variegated syngonium, which is doing really, really badly since a very, very long time. And I had asked this question on a plant group, and I got a lot of suggestions on how I can go about it, but I really didn't do anything. And it's really bad of me because I feel bad about the update of this plant, the bad update about the plant, how it's suffering, but I really don't feel like doing anything about it because I'm tired of taking care of that plant. Earlier, it had spider mites. I treated it. It did very well. I did this whole Syngonium chop video as well, and I have now two plants. But for some reason, all of my Syngoniums are doing badly. But anyway, let me get the plant first. So this is the plant in question that we are talking about, and this has been in this self-watering pot since a long time, and we had extended the moss pole and the plant had gotten really high. We chopped it up, it kind of went dormant, and then now each new leaf that it pushes out is damaged. So I'll just try and show it. So the part here, this part here has been pushing out lots of new leaves, but this entire section which has gone black and there are these dots over there, and all the new leaves which I have chopped up right now, there's this one new one which has come in the last 2 days, but it just dries and dies off completely. And I know there's an issue with the soil for sure. There was a spider living in it and stuff, like an actual spider, not the spider mite spider. But the older leaves are still okay. So I think I'm either going to chop it off and propagate this in water, because that's one way I can ensure that whatever disease is maybe happening through the soil and it's being transferred to the main stem, I can maybe get rid of that. And first, maybe I will check the roots and we'll remove this whole thing. And this is something I really don't want to do, but I will, because that's the way we are doing it today. So I've got my changing tray, I've got my shears, because I do feel we may have to chop things here. But let's just start with the unpotting bit first. So I can see a lot of roots inside which have rotted and broken up. So I may need help of a couple of things, because we need to see what's happening. So I think the soil was definitely the problem. This was kind of red soil, and um, there is root rot. There is definitely root rot. So I'm just gonna go and take a little rinse of the roots and get back. And before that, I just wanna untie the threads I have. And I think I'm gonna just do away with the moss pole. I really don't like these coir moss poles which I get here. Not interested a bit in those. Maybe once after the plant recovers, I will use white sphagnum moss which I have for some of my other plants. Was barely attached to this. All right, so I'm gonna wash this up and come back. Okay, so I was thinking about this round pot, but I have found a longer, taller pot. I think this is much better for it. So that's what we are going to do. I'm just going to pot this up here like so. I'm using my Little Jungle Aeroid mix, which is the best mix, to be honest, available in the market. So I will be adding a bit of a support for sure, because clearly it needs support right now. So here we are. This is how it's looking. This used to be such a beautiful big plant. It had amazing variegations. It was just doing perfectly until I don't know what happened, but I'm hoping with a new pot, new soil mix, a easier support system than that core moss pole, it's going to do much, much better. So just to document the plant how it's now, and we will check back on it after a couple of days. I also want to show the mid cut of this plant from the time we had done the cuttings, and it's been doing well. This also kind of had that similar problem where the new leaves would come all damaged, but right now it's pushing out this new leaf here and one more here. So there are two leaves on the way. So I'm hoping that it will pick up, and if it pushes out two new leaves every time, I think that's going to be a great growth rate for the plant. So these are my variegated syngoniums. Let's just hope they do really, really well. This leaf is just so pretty. It's like snowflake on it. Looks like snow falling on leaves. Okay, so those were 3 of the chores that I had to do, and there may be time for one more. I'm thinking while I'm doing it, and I've got my tools out, I've got all the equipments out, I might as well do one more. And I'm hoping this one is just an easier one, or we'll skip it. God, this is the one I really don't want to do. It's my fiddle leaf fig plant, FLF. I need to do some notching on it, and I don't know what's notching. I just heard about it because there are plants, fiddle leaf fig plants would stop growing and they have no new growth whatsoever. And there's a process called notching. I read about it in a plant group, so I never went and read about it or YouTubed about it, but I think I'll do that right away, and we will perform that notching on the plant. I will first get the plant and show you how it is. So this is my fiddle leaf fig plant, and it's not doing good at all because the leaves, they kind of have never opened up. They have just been kind of closed. They're all not really opening up. All the leaves on this side have already fallen off, and the top looks sad and damaged, and as if it really doesn't want to grow a new leaf. I tried chopping off one leaf on top, thinking it will help the plant push new growth, but that's not happening. And I think even otherwise, it's not really in a great position. It's all dirty because I didn't clean it. I really, really ignore this plant because I thought it's supposed to be an easy plant and it can do very well on its own, but it doesn't. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go give it a wash first, and I'm going to read about notching, and I will come back here and do it. Hopefully. Let's see. Okay, so we are back. I have tried my best to clean all the leaves individually, and I've sprayed them with my soapy water solution as well. So I've done my bit to at least clean it up. And now comes for the notching part. And let me just try and make this little arrangement here. Okay. So while I was waiting for the plant to dry up, I have gone and read about how to do notching. And basically what you need to do is we'll basically be making a cut in the stem of the plant. And where do you make the cut is an important thing. So ideally, it should be between two nodes. Two nodes would be, you'll kind of make out a bump in your plant, like not where the leaves are, not that bump, but there are these other kind of bumpy uh, things you'll feel like right even above here, like this area is a part of the node. So maybe we can make a cut here, we can make a cut here as well, uh, and so on and so forth. My leaves aren't that matured to show it properly right now, but let me try and find this section. So I believe even this ring you see here is a part of the node, and this, so this section can be done. So I'm going to go for the bottom section though, because I've lost a few leaves there anyway. This entire section, so this entire section is where I want some new growth to happen. What you need to do is take a sharp knife. It can be a box cutter, it can be your shears, but they have to be sterilized for sure. And then you make a kind of a 45-degree cut, and you'll possibly, if you're successful, see some white liquid coming out of it, and then you kind of make a triangular cut above, and that's what the notch is actually called. So let's try. I'm just gonna take my space here because I don't want to really cut my hand, but let's see. Okay, so just to cut the whole thing short, if you see this bit here, I have tried to make a 45-degree cut, and then I've removed a little piece from the bottom, and I'm not sure if I got it right because I really didn't get that oozy liquid thing which is supposed to come out, but this is all I could do right now to the plant considering the way it is. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it. Of course, it's advised to add some rooting hormone at this point to the place where we have done the notching to help promote growth, but I do not have that, so I'm just going to skip that step because I can't do anything about it right now. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks for new growth to come back. So I will document this. I will kind of keep a track on this, and I will update it in the next video I do on this plant. And with that, I'm going to end this part of the task. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope it was an interesting one with the whole plant task lotto bit. I do have a couple of more left here, which I am not going to be doing today because this was a pretty long evening for me to do the tasks. I do feel like reading what they were, so if you're keen to know, you could stay back or end this video here. But okay, the other one was washing up my Enjoy Pothos, the one which is on the top right there. It really needs a wash from a very, very long time. I thought I'll take it to the shower and we'll give it a proper thorough wash. And okay, the other one was adding a moss pole to my Philodendron Splendid, which is, I think, the right time to do it, but maybe some other day. And then I have pot up my English ivy. So my English ivy was doing so well, and then things went wrong, and right now it's propagating in water, just a single stem. And because it was a gift to me, I really don't want to just lose the plant. So right now it's in water propagation, and I could really use potting it up because it's got all the roots now. And the last one was checking on my philodendron burley marks. That was a plant which used to be on top in the middle of those two trailing plants there, over there. And I have moved it just today, in fact, to give it some sunlight, because I think it wasn't getting enough light there. And it needs to be diagnosed, it needs to be seen, because the leaf sizes have gone really, really small. So, but again, maybe some other time. I'm so happy I did these 4 tasks with you guys here. It kind of made me do them. Otherwise, I was really not keen. I was, in fact, okay to lose the plans but not do the tasks, because that's how daunting at times they can feel. But I hope you watched it. I hope you liked the video. I hope you did your plant chores along with me, or maybe you figure out this new way of where you put in your tasks in a jar and then you do them as they come around. Anyway, hoping it was a fun video for you. If you did like it, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you can do me a favor, watch my next video. Until then, bye.